But originally, a worker term is, and I might be wrong with this, Matt. Maybe Matt can help me with that. I'm not 100% sure. If he's still on the call, just shoot me a message, Matt. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But now that you know it, do you feel more entitled to say it? Like, is that part of?
I think what it is.
Look at me, I'm a wrestling fan. I know wrestling terms.
Right, I think that's what it is, and I think it was.
Well, it was clear that Ziggler went over Breeze because Breeze jobbed to Ziggler.
I want to say it was somebody, either Jim Ross or Jim Cornette had on his podcast like last week, even like that he was just saying that guys used to get really mad when fans would use industry terms because they weren't in the business. But now it's just become a thing that everybody has a voice. Everybody hears these terms, kind of thinks they know what the term is, and then just kind of throws the word out there. But the problem is they overuse a lot of these terms. Like buried. Oh, this guy lost on main event. He's getting buried. This guy lost on the Extreme Rules pre-show. He's getting buried. Like, it was overused, and now this week it seemed like job is going to be that term.
I mean, you can look it up on the Wikipedia page. They have a glossary of professional wrestling terms. Job, the loose definition is to lose in a wrestling match, usually overwhelmingly in a squash match, but just to lose a match. I mean, it's so maybe we are reading much into it.
Well, right. I mean, technically, I guess the Matt says jobber has been around since the 50s. The term jobber, and like, I mean, yes, technically, losing a match is doing the job.
Correct.
But
which now we're kind of tearing down kayfabe here, or at least we're blurring the lines through that, because it's being booked to do the job.
Right.
So we're going with a route that professional wrestling is staged, which everybody knows. So maybe the term isn't as outdated or isn't as bad as I'm thinking it is, and I think you're thinking it is when you hear that, because everybody's already knowing that it's predetermined. I guess a slang word. I mean, I guess that's my problem. Just say, yeah, he lost the match.
And I guess my issue with it this week is not, oh, he did the job for the, like, because nobody says that. It's Ziggler beat Breeze. Charlotte beat Becky.
Wait, did Becky job to Charlotte?
Right, like when it is getting, the way it is being used is in such a negative light that they're jobbing to them. Like
But let's talk about the Breeze thing. Here's a guy who's newly on the roster for what, 6 months now, maybe. Lost a match to the quote unquote veteran Dolph Ziggler.
I don't even think he hasn't even been up. I don't even think he's been up on the main roster.
2 months?
2 months, 2.5 months.
How was that considered a negative job to Dolph Ziggler, who was a former WWE heavyweight champion?
Right. I mean,
how was that a job?
Exactly.
I mean, obviously because he lost. So by definition, yeah, it's a job. He was booked to lose the match, so yeah, he was booked to do the job.
I mean, I think part of the problem, and this is not a slight on NXT. I love NXT, absolutely love NXT, but when you see, Sami Zayn come in and within months is the champion, Kevin Owens comes in within months is the champion, and moves up to the main roster. Finn Balor comes in and very quickly becomes champion. Apollo Crews already had a title match.
But all of which that came in with a phenomenal independent background.
Absolutely.
Tyler Breeze was their homegrown product.
Sure. And again, I'm not slighting NXT, but part of the problem maybe I'm just trying to get into the head of the person that is jobbing. You know what I mean? Like the person that is just hammering that word on Twitter this week.
So the wrestling fan who's just learned a professional wrestling term.
Bingo.
Right.
Like
I wouldn't even waste my time getting into their head.
But I think I think part of the issue is like maybe you have these kind of like the quick success stories. So when they see a Breeze come up to the main roster, they expect them to like win, get a championship like right away. Some championship right away. And when it doesn't happen, they're like, oh, they're just become a jobber now. No, Barry Hardy was a jobber.
Barry Horowitz
was a jobber.
As we pat ourselves on the back.
You know, like those guys are what
Demento.
You know, those are the guys that like I would consider jobbers. The guys that
I wouldn't even consider those guys jobbers. Here's the crazy thing: like if you've known their names, they've made it onto the WWE, the biggest stage of them all as a wrestler.
Okay,
like I'm talking like
the guy with red tights and
right.
white boots
I mean, then you've had to go back to early Raws to see these like squash matches where it's straight no name, like Steve Williams, bad name, bad choice. So I
was gonna say like
I got,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
As soon as I said Steve, I'm like I'm screwed. Come up with a name. Williams. That's the only name I could come up with. It's a really bad example. From Arkansas, from like Little Rock, Arkansas. Tiny Tim from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Like Chris Garrett. They're right there. Chris Garrett in red tights and white boots.
Right. Who lost a match in 3 minutes flat, had almost zero offensive moves.
And is going to do it again on the next show?
Correct.
And the next show. And the next show.
Like
that's a jobber.
Those training talents, if you will, that are just out there, learning the industry.
Yeah.
That I would consider to be more of a jobber than even a Barry Horowitz. Because Horowitz had a little run there, didn't he?
He did. When he beat the Body Donnas, had a little bit of a run.
A little handprint on his trunks. Like, if you have customized trunks...
Yeah, Horowitz started as a jobber, and then they gave him a little push. I think it's like a thank you for all the years that he had been with the company.
And done the job. Correct. Correct. Because Breeze lost the match, he's not a jobber.
I think we're just going to have to get through what I imagine will be the end of the year, maybe Royal Rumble, where that's just like
the thing. Right. Well, by that time, Triple H will be back out, and the Shovel might make another appearance. And
right, then it'll be buried again.
Everything will be buried again. Right. We'll bury everything again.
Charlotte, Becky, the little dirty finish with Rick. How
about the new entrance for Becky Lynch?
With the steam. That was cool.
Pretty cool. Finally, someone with their little steam pump thing.
Like, it's definitely much more impressive to see live. I mean, all wrestling is, but that you can definitely tell. Definitely, it's much higher. I saw her entrance on SmackDown tonight, and it does not look nearly as impressive as it does live. Like you don't get the perspective of how high it actually goes in the air.
Yeah, I mean, easily 15 foot.
Yeah,
are we safe to say that?
I would
let's say Becky's what, roughly? How tall is Becky Lynch? 5.5? Maybe. I mean, we're clearly over her head.
Sure.
Well over her head.
Yeah, it was. It was over Charlotte's head.
Right.
And Charlotte tall. So.
Okay, Becky's built at 5'6".
Okay.
So at least 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
Plumes of steam.
Yeah, very cool. Cool entrance. What do you think of the match and the finish, kind of where they're going with this and Paige, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte? I actually enjoy it. I kind of like the Ric Flair style, fake the injury, any way to win.
Sure.
Kind of did Charlotte interfered in Becky's match.
A bit of a tip of the hat to the Ric Flair. The dirtiness of it.
I like it. I'm intrigued by where they go because it's almost kind of like a pick your destination type of thing.
Anything to break up PCB.
Right.
And these 3-team revolutionary heel groups that we got in here. How long is Nikki Bella out for?
Indefinitely.
She is.
She has, I want to say like compressed discs or something in her neck.
Okay.
She's trying to avoid surgery. And so.
That worked well for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Which I got to yell.
I
which
mean,
was nice.
I can't blame them.
Sure, I get it.
You know,
Here's the deal.
Tyson Kidd's out like at least a year.
If you're going to be out that long anyway, you might as well just make sure it gets fixed.
Sure.
I'm like, I understand you're undergoing a procedure and unnecessary cutting into your body, but if you're going to be out that long, I'd rather it just be fixed right. If professional wrestling is how I make my living, I want to make sure it's fixed properly.
Right, but I think in 2015 between yogas and physical therapy and chiropractic and things like that, there are much more natural ways to heal the body than surgery. And there can always be complications with surgery. Surgery may not, may fix the problem, but you might not be able to get back in the ring. Like, anytime you're dealing with the neck, I mean, it's touch and go whether you have surgery or not. So I have no idea. There's no timetable for a Nikki return. So we get Brie and Alicia Fox every week. Right. I almost laugh because like I've actually seen some people say like, can't we have Nikki back? Like when you see Brie and Alicia Fox, like the thing you hated, that people thought they hated the most, then they realized they didn't hate that the most.
No, I mean, again, it'll give us the 3-team Bella group is forced now to be broken up.
Sure.
Hopefully, Sasha coming out here doing the legit boss and with her theme music breaks up Team Bad somewhere soon, and we have these Divas matches with one-offs that can be, I don't want to say one-offs, but singles matches.
Yeah.
That can hold weight. And it's going to be okay to have 2, maybe even 3 Divas matches on a Raw, and include Natalya, and include some of these other Divas that haven't been included in the PCB angle so much, and really work that. I mean, I'm not saying bring Bayley up or bring Ava Marie up or bring anybody from NXT up. There's plenty of talent in.
I don't think anybody's saying bring Ava Marie up.
Nobody's saying that.
I'm not even saying that.
Wow.
I'm not even saying to have her featured on NXT.
Boy, how that has changed.
Yeah.
Have you watched NXT this week?
I did not.
I started last night, and just with the chaotic week with the holiday and everything, I fell asleep. First match is just done. I knew I wouldn't make it through either.
Although the WWE Network has added I did watch this evening while I was eating dinner, 26-minute preview of the first look at the Owen Hart DVD.
Ooh,
that's one I'm going to buy. I'm just tell you that.
Well, you're a big Hart fan.
I'm a big Hart guy, but Ryan, overall, let's look at ratings really quick since we are in the interest of time. Ratings for this week: Hour 1, 3.31 million; Hour 2, 3.19; Hour 3, 3.01. So up from last week. I mean, you lost 300,000 viewers over the course of the show. Again, that third hour, we always talk about it. That third hour, that's a tough one. It's always a tough one. Overall, I did enjoy the show. I thought that what was it? The most creative was the most different? No, but it felt a little bit different. It felt, Monday. This whole week has been nuts for me. It started Monday, and I put it this way: I'll be happy when this week is over. But I enjoyed the show, and certainly not the best, but we have had much worse. I think the last. Regardless of the ratings, I think in my opinion, the last maybe 4 to 6 Raws have been pretty good. They've entertained
the cup's
me.
Always half full with you in the WWE right now.
Sure it is. You know what I loved? Sorry, Adam Rose's Rose Bush, that little his little weekend update segment.
I missed it.
Oh man, you're gonna have to look it up.
I will. You were talking about it, and I was like,
I thought it was brilliant. You'll have to look it up. There are definitely mixed reviews, but I think overall I've seen more favorable. Overall, Ryan, you didn't like Raw, I think, right?
I feel like a hypocrite saying it wasn't great, but I'm still going to tune in.